I have just had the worst day of Overwatch ever. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. I am Stylosa, and this is time to confess. This is Overwatch Anonymous. It is, in the background, you're seeing quick play rehabilitation. This is me playing my beloved Junkrat, who obviously I never play in competitive because I'm no good with him, but I do enjoy playing Junkrat, which, watch this. This is... What? Okay, whatever, hog, whatever. Now, if that happened to me in competitive, I would be kind of salty. But it happened in quick play, so it's all fun and it's all games. Anyway, I had the worst day ever, so let me just tell you about what the hell happened. So if you look at the time on this video, it is 10:40 a.m. I'm playing Overwatch, and I've been playing it for, well, since about 8 a.m. on today, because I wanted to chill. I wanted to chill in quick play. I wanted it to just be a fun time, because yesterday was not a fun time. Overwatch is a beautiful game, and it is the best game I have ever played, which is quite evident by the amount of videos that I make in Overwatch. I love the game. It is awesome. So what happened to me? Well, it's quite... In fact, before I get into what happened to me, you guys should tell me in the comments below your worst day of Overwatch, when you've just had to go away and get a bit of rehabilitation, when you've had to go maybe and play another game, or like me, because you're so addicted to Overwatch, you go and play on another account. No, you go and play in quick play, or you do something chill because you've got to relax. So what happened to me, guys, was not fun. In fact, it was terrible. It wasn't toxic players. It wasn't troll players. It wasn't abusive players. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't bad play. It was just a matchmaker. It absolutely hated me. So the day began with a game on Temple of Anubis. All right, I'm thinking, okay, Temple of Anubis, this isn't fine. It was a draw. Whatever, Temple of Anubis. The next map it gives me, Eichenwald. I'm thinking, okay, it was a draw. Now, I've never had 2 draws in a row. In fact, that's like, I've never had 2 draws in a row. That is just insane. But then it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen, because then there was Eichenwald. No, not Eichenwald, we just had Eichenwald. Then there was Volskaya. Now, Volskaya isn't generally that bad. Like, normally on Volskaya, you can kind of get away with maybe not getting a draw. Probably the least of the worst 2 CP maps, I don't know, for that kind of thing. Anyway, it was a draw. That is 3 draws. I have never seen that before in my life. That is absolutely ridiculous. So that day... which if you're watching this video today, which would be whatever the day the video was uploaded on, this happened all the day before, I've been playing since 2 p.m. I stopped playing at about about midnight, right? So that was a very long Overwatch session. I played a load of games, absolute load of games. I had 4 draws in the entire day. I think I drew on, I think it was Hanamura actually, which is probably the worst offender. Now, 4 draws in a day, that is pretty crazy. Like, okay, I played a lot of games, but it was just heartbreaking. Like, what was happening is I would go on Temple of Anubis, get a draw, and think, okay, it can't be that bad. And then suddenly I'd get Eichenwald, and I'm thinking, oh no. You see, because Eichenwald is a really pain up the arse map. A lot of maps in Overwatch are defender bias, right? So the 2 CP maps generally are. Maybe with the one exception is, I think, Temple of Anubis first point. Generally, you capture the first point. The second point, though, is pretty impregnable. There we go, that's the word. Because, like, it's just so easy for the enemy to defend. Like, the problem is they can respawn so close next to the point. They can filter back in. They can just defend it forever. We all know the problems with 2 CP. But it was just so disheartening to get them, like, straight after each other, and then to get them so often. In fact, yesterday, I never once had Dorado, which you could argue, yeah, Dorado's got a pretty strong choke, but there are ways around it. And I never had Hollywood. And I don't think I had King's Row, actually. No, I never had King's Row. I had a couple of King of the Hill maps thrown in there. But, I mean, how insane is that? Gibraltar, I had Gibraltar quite a few times, which I do like Gibraltar. That's pretty nice. On Route 66, which I've got, like, an irrational hate of Route 66. I don't like that map. I don't know why. It just seems like on Route 66, you lose the first point. You get steamrolled then, basically, to the end of the map. It's weird. It's well weird how that works out. Sometimes you can hold them towards the end of the map, but... So, yeah, it was a very painful day. Like, you know when you sit there and you think, okay, it can't get any worse, right? And it does. It's like, oh my god, why? And it's not like I was playing bad. I was playing really well. This was on one of my other accounts, which I've been keeping secret, and it'll be kept secret for a while. But this is like at a Grandmaster level, and I'm playing, and it's just ridiculous. Like, on Eichenwald, what generally happens is you get a May on defense all of the time, and a Symmetra. So you cannot push through the choke. The problem with Eichenwald, there is only a couple of characters who can actually flank. And to be able to flank, well, you need to fly. So you need to be Pharah to fly around the sides. I think Genji can do it, just about. And D.Va. Winston can probably do it as well. But you're not going to take Pharah, Genji, Winston, D.Va and then try and dive, because then you've got no front line and then it's like nothing's going to happen. It's very, very difficult to push through. Generally, the way that you win on that map on attack is you get a really fast pick on the defenders for some reason. Like maybe you've got a Widow on attack and she just happens to kill the Mei, but that's only if the Mei's in a bad position. So if they're not there, then you can kind of rush through and take the point. And then when it's your turn to defend, you're basically doing the same thing. Like, I've generally play Soldier on Route 60, not Route 66, on Iconvolt, because it's just, well, it's easy. You just sit there and just spam through the choke. What I like to do now is actually stand on the bridge, because it's a bit more risky, but it's a bit safer because you know Roadhog can't bullshit hook you from the high ground anymore. So you can kind of bait the hook out and you're safe. It's beautiful. So you can do some work. But it's boring, right? You know, when you get on these maps, it's pretty much guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but there's a very high chance of a draw because it's so easy for the defenders to defend. And that's what was making me angry with Overwatch, because 2CP, it's a very simple fix to those maps. Iconvolt is a little bit different. That's down to map design. I mean, once you get past the first point, Iconvolt's second point is fantastic. The final point is, again, defender bias, but, you know, whatever. It's just that first point which is a bit of an issue. But, like, it's this. I mean, if you look at Dorado's a good example of one of these maps actually being quite good. Obviously, Dorado's a payload map, so it's not a hybrid map like Iconvolt, but there are ways to flank the first point. You don't just have to run through. You can go around the left or you can go around the right. There are, in effect, 3 options to attack that point, which is awesome. On Iconvolt, yes, you could say you've got 3 options to attack the point, but there's only one option that every character can take, and that's through the middle to basically get walled off by Mei and then die. And it's like, oh. And this is the same with Hanamura, really. Hanamura's got basically, well, I guess you could say Hanamura's got 3 flanks, because you could fly over to the right if you're Pharah or D.Va or Winston, or Lucio could maybe go over there. Obviously, everybody can go through the mid, and then to the left, you've got a little window where people get through. And what do I do on Hanamura? Well, I take Soldier, I go and sit on top of the building on defense, and I just kill everybody as they come running through. Sometimes people will try and contest me, but whatever. If I've got an Ana looking after me and I'm Soldier, I can heal myself and I can probably kill anybody who tries to dive me. If it's a Genji or a D.Va or whatever. And that's kind of the annoying thing. Like, when I'm getting on those maps, it's not tactical. Like, it doesn't really feel engaging. The game doesn't, especially when you've played them for so much. So here's a super interesting thing. What is going to happen? In fact, I think I glossed over the fix for 2CP, didn't I? I put this together in a video a while back, but what I think should happen is kind of simple. Like, imagine if you got 10 points for capturing a point completely, and then you've got a point for each pip on the capture wheel that you get. So on Anubis, you capture the first point, you get 10 points, and then you run into the second point and you capture 2 of the pips, and then you fail to capture the rest, so you get 12 points. The enemy team capture the first point, they get 10, and then they only manage to get 1 of the pips, right? So that is not a draw game. That is actually the other team have lost because my team have played better. And that's the issue with these 2CP maps, and in even Iconvolt, generally more so with 2CP, where the team that is winning can actually end up drawing or even lose. Even if you complete the map really quick, you whitewash the enemy, they can still take the point with like a minute to go, and then maybe they've got a minute left, and then they somehow manage to take the first point, and you take forever to take the first point, and it's just annoying. Like, it doesn't really fit the flow of the game, and it can kind of, well, it's just annoying. It's like, and it makes you angry. Removing maps from the map pool. This was the thing I wanted to get onto before I needed to explain how to fix 2CP. Yeah, imagine if this was a thing. Like, the problem with this is it'll never happen, I don't think, because Blizzard want you to play on all of their maps. You can see this by the way that they enforce map selections on various esports tournaments. It'll be like, you need to play on this map, you have to play on that map. The Overwatch World Cup, you didn't get to pick the maps. It was just, you're on these maps, deal with it. Traditionally, teams will pick and ban maps because there's so many maps in Overwatch. You can't be expected to be proficient on every single map. And you'll see teams like Envy are basically the best team in the world on Gibraltar. So you never really want to play Gibraltar against Envy, else you will get wrecked. Like, so teams will avoid that. So that's kind of a bit of, I don't know, kind of bit of tactical sort of stuff at that level. But I'm not talking about esports. What I'm talking about is on the competitive ladder. Imagine if you had the option to be able to just say, I don't want to play 2CP. I don't think they'd ever get played, or I don't want to play King of the Hill. Like, sometimes people have got an issue with King of the Hill. King of the Hill, I don't think is too bad. I pretty much enjoy almost every King of the Hill map. The only, well, I guess it's a point I don't like is Ilios Ruins. I don't really like that because it doesn't feel great because of the way the point is in a pit in the middle, and it doesn't feel too great. But King of the Hill is sort of pure Overwatch in a way because it's just you versus them. There's no like, well, there is tactics, but it's like, who are the better players? Who's got the better accuracy? Who are the better supports? Who are the better tanks? And that team generally wins. Whereas like on hybrid and payload maps, there's a lot more tactics involved. Whereas on 2CP, it's just like a massively strong defensive position, and can you attack us? And it's like all the eggs are in the defender's basket, and it does get a bit frustrating. Anyway, guys, let me know what you have been doing in Overwatch to calm down. Confess, this is Overwatch Anonymous. If you need to go and take part in some quick play rehab, then do it. But tell me below what your sort of frustrating moments have been recently with Overwatch, because you've got to get it out there. It's good to get it out there, and then you can carry on. Like, I'm going to go and play competitive later on today, and if it dares load me into Iconvolt, Volskaya, Temple of Anubis, or Hanamura, you will see a picture on Twitter of me going, God, please, not again. Why, game? Why do you hate me? Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. If you enjoyed the video, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, remember to leave a comment below, and do follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, which is probably the best place if you'd like to send me a message. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and I'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.